righteous than you can ever think of. What righteousness is. Your definition of holiness is within the environment that you belong, is within the confines of faith that you have. If you're a Christian, the faith, the holiness is within that. There's difference between the holistic approach of Muslims and the holistic approach of Christians, the holistic approach of Jewish people, the holistic approach of Buddhist people, they are all different approaches. In fact, that is what we say the way of life of that religion. Is the way of life that you are living. It's a way of life for you. And it's definitely not the same. Do we see Christians and Muslims dress the same? Do you see the Buddhists and the Christian dress the same? Do you see the Jewish? And they all have slight difference. As the Jewish, the Muslim will wear that thick hat. The Jewish will wear a small hat and put it down here. For whatever reason that is, I don't know. A very small little hat. They put it right here. I don't know how. How they sort of don't get lost. They don't end up losing that hat. It's so little, and they don't lose it. It's always there. And they walk around with it, the air will blow, whatever, and it's there. Why do you put such a hat there, knowing that sometimes the air will blow and all that and unexpected things, and you don't arrange to get the right hat that will fit into your head? Even sometimes the Muslim one which will fit your head, it can be blown off by air. You go to the Buddhists, they have their own way. They tie their hair. They tie, the turban is really tied up, and it's there like that, like a horn of a goat or a cow, And they all have their own reasons why they did it that way. So if you approach anybody, some people also don't have any hat. Like me, I have no hat. I put on my hat when I have to. Any other hat I wear, Now, if you approach me, you see me out there, you said, "Oh, you need to be saved." What the hell are you talking about? Before, I wouldn't have said that, because what did I know then? But now, that's what I have to say to you. What the hell are you talking about? Is there something that you know that I don't know? Tell me. And most of the time, they are not ready to take, because the questions that will come, you haven't got answers to it. Even though you are supposed to have answers. You haven't thought it through. So why are you doing this to people? Why would you trap people into that situation? Why are you misleading people with something which is not logic, which is not sensible, that you want to give them something, yet what you are giving them is not worth to be given out to anybody? You're rather putting people in a confused state. You're rather ruining people's life, and you don't want to admit it. And that is what this book is doing. If it's not by a person doing it, it has been done in a test in the name of God, but it is still people who went out to look for it, and they are good effort of looking for something good or trying to get answers, develop something. It's either they wanted to develop a God to worship, and that's what they came about this. The British country claimed Christianity to be like majority what it is, that but it is not practicing it in the political sense, in the government levels, The crazy, you come to Britain or be here in Britain, as I said, and you can see a country which is sponsoring the Muslims, sponsoring the Jewish, sponsoring the atheists, sponsoring any other, even the gays. They sponsor, everybody gets sponsored. If you are in the law, you are in the country, and you sort of lose a job, and the tax has been paid, and government has to support you to your earn, financially, to get you into whatever situation, even if your tax run out, whichever way it is, they're there to do that. Sometimes people even traveling to this country to seek asylum can come in, and a house will be provided for you to live in. It means the provision is there for whoever you are, whatever level, whatever group, denomination you may belong to. It's right there. You might have a few, one or two in there which will demonstrate the act of discrimination, discriminate against you in a sense of enviness to limit you access to such a good system. That is the situation which is worrying sometimes. But in a general sense, in what the law says or what the system has been set up to do is to give people of that all class the advantage to live like what they call the British life or the British citizen's life. Advantages to all. And they claim Christianity. So which is which? Whilst there are Christians out there suffering, why wouldn't they then organize all the resources they got and go and help the other fellow people who are really Christians and they are suffering? Whether they are hypocrite Christians or whichever, they are Christians. They have denounced it. And if it means that somebody is in a Christian, he tries to convert himself to become a Christian only to get that hell, fine. Because the approach is for Christians, isn't it? But they don't want to be selfish about that. They want to help other people too, which are not in their group for whatever reasons. People of which they have a test that tells you that, or books that tells them that you are their enemy, or you have a reading words that tells them that they are your enemy, and yet you and the resources, the letter that your God has given you, you are giving it to them, whilst your own people, the God is providing for other people, whilst he can't, if he is not fully providing for his own people. Why would he do that? If I have a problem and I'm a Christian, if I haven't got, you see, you have to get enough and then you give to that is what they, everybody who is in the domination of that God will have to satisfy himself, and then there is even more for everybody outside also to be satisfied. That's how it should be, or that's how it is. It's more normal that way. But it becomes abnormal when you realize that. But your own country people, your own seats, your own followers are struggling. Most of them are struggling. And you are out there giving it out. What about them? What you want to starve them to death? What is the point in you going out there making all those sacrifices? Is it inspired by God to do that? I don't think so. I don't really think so. They don't really need it. They don't. When you give it to them, they sort of make. You don't regard the effort that is. So we have to, go on and help other people outside who are ready to embrace and accept the help that the government will give out. Fine, that's a good thing to say. But there are people who are truly want the help and they don't get it. There are people within the system that cannot get that help. You chose to look outside and help others. Now, is it a bad thing? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. The thing is, you have it to help those inside and have it even more in abundance to help those who are outside. So do that. But don't also say that you are of a different religion, a different denomination, and you sort of be looking down on others, and that kind of it really brings the separation. Because if you claim to be Christian, then it is your responsibility to be Christian. But if Christianity is not a group of institution with a self or main identification or definition of itself, then you then have to it has to be accepted the way the Christians might be going to doing what they have charitable means that they do. But that is not it. The state itself is not a Christian state. There are Christians here. There are majority Christians. They are Christian leadership have got involvement in Christianity. They've got involvement in the Bible, and they sort of even agreed, and I think King Henry, or they have signed the documents to sort of being put out there, being used in churches to preach and all that. They will break away from the Romans, which is also the main church of Christianity and all that. But at the end of the day, whatever it is that we are thinking in our head, the state is not a Christian. The state approach things in a general social way. They approach it in a way which is not biased of looking at a Christian view or not. It is there for everyone. So in such a situation, the state is not necessarily a Christian state. Britain is not necessarily a Christian country. But I know it's been demonstrated as that is what it is. Unlike other countries like the Muslim country, where they will stand by and say it is a Muslim country. I don't know whether they go out and help. They do charitable means. Yeah, Muslims do that a lot. But I won't even consider Muslims ended up helping their enemies too much. They won't do it very much. If they consider you as an enemy, which most of them are just not reading the book. If they do read the book, those who are deep into it will then agree what Allah really wants and the wishes of Allah, then they will have to follow through. Allah will not, some point will sort of reveal that your enemy is your enemy. He won't even advise you to destroy and take their life. Why would he tell you to go and feed them to make them fat and strong to sort of fight you back? Oh, why would he do that? Anyway, I wouldn't go through that. These are all some of the things that it is something worth thinking about. It does not necessarily mean that is the road to take, but it is worth thinking and consider things that way so that you can make your choices that, would God do that? Would God do that? Is that the way God want to go? And then it proves whether it is authentic, it is not authentic. And then you can base it from there, you know.